करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे। रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमु रामाय तस्मै नमः। रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We will chant the mantra and the bhashya that we have completed. Om Ishavasyopanishad sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagate tena tyaktena bhunjithaah magrudah kasya svidhanam. You can repeat this part. Ishavasyam ityadi. Isha, ishte, itit, tenesha, ishita parameshwarah, paramatma sarvasya, sahi sarvam ishte, sarvajantunam atma san, pratyagatmataya, tena svena rupena, atmana isha, vasyam achhadaniyam, kim idam sarvam, yatkincha, yatkinchit, jagatyam pruthivyam, jagat tat sarvam, svena atmana ishena, pratyagatmataya, aham eva idam sarvam iti, paramarthya satyarupena, anrutamidam sarvam, characharam achhadaniyam, svena paramatmana. Did we read the next part? Yatha Chandana Guradehe. No, okay, we'll read it later. So we were seeing the first line of the mantra, Ishavasyopanishad sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Sandeep, you can come little bit to the left. This is blocking. First line of the mantra, yatkincha jagatyam jagat. What is the meaning of the word Isha? That is what Bhagavan elaborated. He said, this is nothing but Pratyagatma Shuddha Chaitanya. That alone is called as Isha. Witness of thought with the conditioning of Maya becomes the ruler. Isha, the meaning of that word is the one who has all Aishwarya. All different Aishwarya, the one who can rule with that Aishwarya, that is Isha. But ruling is only Aupadika. Aupadika means it is incidental. It is not its inherent nature. In its true nature, it is pure consciousness, having no action, no attributes whatsoever. With that Isha, pervade this whole creation. Vasyam Achadaniyam, cover it. What all things should I cover? Idam Sarvam. Ishavasyam Idagam Sarvam. What is included in Sarvam? Jagatyam Jagat. Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. Whatever is there in this creation, all of that I should pervade with this consciousness. Now, if I have understood that consciousness as me, myself, then instead of saying consciousness pervades creation, this sadhaka is able to say, I pervade this creation. That is what Bhagavan emphasized there. Pratyekatmataya. How should I pervade? With this knowledge that I am this consciousness which is pervading this whole creation. There is nothing which is different from me. But we had seen that this pervading is not another action. There are three types of pervading which is possible. One type of pervading is called as Kriya Rupa. As an action you can pervade. Meaning if you have a chocolate, if you pervade it with the wrapper, that pervading is called as Kriya Rupa pervading. In some action is involved, where one thing is there, you are pervading it with another thing. Second pervasion happens through bhava. Bhava, it's very hard to translate in English. Emotion is a very compromised translation. It includes many more things. You see something, but you pervade that thing with your bhava. And that bhava could be of so many things. It could be of love. It could be of belongingness. That is why we keep family picture it in front. What you are seeing is only paper. On top of that, glass frame is there. But we are pervading that glass frame with the bhava of love. So that is the second pervasion, pervading, which can happen. And the same is true with vigraha also. We see one stone in Narmada river, but we pervade it with the bhava of Bhagavan Shiva. You see Saligrama, which is another material, but that bhava pervades that object with the bhava of Bhagavan Vishnu. Same with any pratima of the Lord, that is called as Achadanam through bhava. You are pervading it through bhavana. Over here, when it is said, pervade the Jagat with Isha, the primary meaning of that pervading is the third one, which is pervasion through knowledge. Pervading is happening through knowledge, just like if you have a pot, clay pot, you say pervade that pot by the clay. Pervade that pot by the clay means I don't have to do anything. I just have to know that the material cause of this clay, of this pot, is clay. Pervade all the waves by water. There also, there is no action involved. I just have to know whatever is being seen as a wave, the material cause is nothing but water. Okay, that is the third Achadanam, which is called as Jnana Rupena Achadanam. I don't have to do anything to the pot to pervade. It is only knowing, there is no doing. Bhavana, I have to know and I have to do also. Means whatever I have been told, with that bhavana I can keep repeating it. That way whatever pratibandha is there, obstacle is there, that goes away. It is said even if somebody doesn't study Vedanta and just does this bhavana that this whole creation is pervaded by my Isha, that will give its own result. Bhavana level pervasion. Means our scriptures are telling to at least one of these three things, don't just see Nama Rupa. Bhavana level, if we pervade creation by Isha, then we will get the chaupai like Goswami Tulsidas Ji. Siya Rama Maya Sabajaga Jani, Karahu Pranama, Jori Juga Pani. He says, I'm seeing this whole creation as my Bhagwan, Rama and Sita Ji. With that, what happened? Whatever I am seeing, I am doing pranams to that. Karahu Pranama, Jori Juga Pani. Means he starts seeing Prabhava of the Lord in this whole creation. There was one Mahatma Ji with whom satsang was going on. And outside suddenly wind started blowing. Very heavy wind. Now everybody said, Swamiji, wind is blowing. Should we close the door? He got upset. He said, what do you mean wind is blowing? Bhagwan is doing pranayama. Once he was doing kumbhaka, rechaka, now he is doing puraka. That is their bhavana, that when they see creation, they don't see Nama Rupa. That is Achhadanam of Prabhava. But over here, the main Achhadanam in Ishavasya, this Upanishad, Bhagavan Shakaracharya says we should take the first meaning. First meaning meaning Jnana Achhadanam, not Kriya. Jnana Achhadanam. Recognize the substratum and negate the superimposed. Recognize the substratum, which is consciousness, and negate whatever is appearing in this Jagat as Nama Rupa. Now, the example that we had seen, right? Sandalwood was there if it is kept in water. That sandalwood, because of the moisture, the dampness, gets a foul smell. And everybody tells you that, oh, sandalwood is very fragrant. And you see this sandalwood and you say, how come this sandalwood is having a foul smell? So then the advice given is take it and rub it. When that incidental thing which has come on top of it has gone away, that fragrance which was already there in that sandalwood will envelop that foul smell. Means it will overpower it. That is the example given over here. What is the similarity? The foul smell represents Daurgandhya, that is the word Bhagavan uses. That represents entire Nama Rupa of Jagat and Kartrutva and Bhoktrutva. He says Dvaita is the Daurgandhya. Seeing Jagat as independent of consciousness and thinking of ourselves as Karta and Bhokta. That is the Daurgandhyam. And the rubbing that the sandalwood was being subjected to, that is the part of Mananam. Means you have heard what Upanishad is saying. Having heard that, don't stop. Do that reflection to a point where our own true nature becomes available to us. And this Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva is negated. Now we should appreciate who is this sadhaka, to whom this example is given, to whom this injunction is given. Ishavasyopanishad sarvam. Who is this sadhaka? He has done Shravanam. He has heard that everything is consciousness. But abidance in that knowledge has not come yet. There are still some doubts. Samshaya is there. And erroneous notions are there. Viparyaya is there. And until this samshaya viparya remains and knowledge doesn't get firm, until that point, he said there is still some scope for punarjanma. So the sadhaka is somebody who says, I have heard the truth, now I will put forth effort to be free from all bondage. There is one verse in Shiva Mahimna Stotram. I'll chant the verse, but the bhava is very beautiful. Elaborating the same point, who is the Adhikari of this part of doing Ishavasyam. That verse generally is not chanted in our regular Shiva Mahimna Stotram. It comes after this Namo Nedishtaya. After that verse comes this one. In some versions it is there, in some version it is not there. But it goes like this. Vapush pradurubhava dhanatumitadam janmani pura purare naivaham kvachidapi bhavantam pranavatam kvachidapi bhavantam pranatavan naman muktas sampratyatanurahamagre pyanatiman maheshakshantavayam tadidamaparadhadvayamapi. You look at the bhava of Pushpadanta Acharya. He says to Bhagavan Shiva, Bhagavan, I have committed two mistakes. I have committed two mistakes. One in the past and one I am going to commit in the future. And please forgive me for both of them. Bhagavan must have asked, what was your mistake in the future? He says, mistake in the future is, in spite of getting human body, I did not do pranams to you. I did not remember you, because if I had remembered you, I would not have gotten this body again. So that was my first mistake, that in spite of getting human sharira, manushya sharira, I did not bow down to you. And the second mistake he says is, your grace is such that you have brought knowledge in my life. Now I know that there is no punarjanma. Means in the future, there is no more new sharira that I am going to take. And to bow down, I need sharira. So this is going to be my mistake here onwards. He says, please forgive me for both of it. Bhagavan Shakaracharya is saying that person is the Adhikari now. Means he has reached a point where he has heard Vedanta. Now he is putting forth effort to abide in this knowledge. That is why Ishavasyam. Through Shravanam, Pramana Asambhavana goes away. Pramana Asambhavana means, if I am seeking unconditioned happiness, how will Upanishads take me there? That clarity will come through Shravanam only. What was the definition of Shravanam in Vedanta Sara? Using Tatparya Nirnaya. Using Tatparya Nirnaya to arrive at this understanding that what is being spoken in all Upanishad is Mahavakya. I alone am that absolute reality. Jiva Brahma Aikya, this is the Tatparya of all Upanishads. Getting this clarity, that is the role of Shravanam. That Isha alone pervades this whole creation. This clarity will come in Shravanam. And that Isha I am. Having heard this is the next step is Vedanta Anuguna Yukti Bihi Anavarata Chintanam. Holding on to the logic which is in line with this understanding. Always keeping our mind in this knowledge. That is the part of Mananam. Vedanta Anuguna means which is in line with Vedanta, whatever has been said, using logic to understand how Jagat is Mithya, how I am Brahma. Says that is the part of Mananam. And in spite of doing that, some erroneous notions can keep lingering on. Keeping that same Brahmakara Vritti for an extended period of time, that is called as Nididhyasanam. Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha. This is how Vedanta Sara we saw. So this part is now emphasizing on Mananam part. Okay, through this example, Bhagavan is elaborating that. But I hope the introduction to this part was clear. Huh? Who is the Adhikari? Who is doing Mananam? He has heard already. But Bhagavan says, if you have heard, make it your conviction now. Yatha Chandana Agaru Adehe Udakadi Sambandhaja Kledadi Kledadijam Aupadhikam Daurgandhyam Tatswarupa Nigharshanena Achhadyate Svena Paramarthikena Gandhena Tadvadevahi Swatmani Adhyastam Swabhavikam Kartrutva Bhoktruttvadilakshanam Jagat Dvaita Rupam Jagatyam Pruthivyam Jagatyam iti Upalakshanarthatvat Sarvameva Nama Rupa Karmakhyam Vikarajatam Paramartha Satyatma Bhavanaya Tyaktam Syat. Yatha, just like Chandana Agaru Adehe, just like the sandalwood or Agaru which is there, Udakadi Sambandhaja Kledadijam, due to proximity with water, the moisture which is there, born out of that proximity, because of that, Aupadikam Daurgandhyam, the incidental foul smell which is coming out of it. How will you remove it? First is we should start inquiring into that same sandalwood. Meaning if I am having foul smell in some sandalwood and I take something else and start rubbing it, that will not help. Everything has a parallel. Huh? If ahankara, wherever it is seen, there alone I have to start inquiring. Who is this ahankara? Jagat is being seen as Nama Rupa. There alone I should start inquiring, what is this Jagat? So like that, this sandalwood which is there, same sandalwood I should take from which this smell is coming. Then he says, Swarupa Nigharshanena. Swarupa Nigharshanena is the second step, where I have to remove what doesn't belong to it and make that Swarupa, the essential nature, manifest. Essential nature is the fragrance which is there. Swarupa Nigharshanena Achhadyate. Kim Achhadyate? What does it cover? Aupadikam Daurgandhyam Achhadyate. It covers the incidental smell that is coming from that sandalwood. That rubbing act manifested the fragrance which is already there, and that covered this Daurgandhya. Svena Paramarthikena Gandhena. Paramarthikena here means by its own inherent fragrance. Svena Paramarthikena Gandhena. This is Drishtanta, example. Now, if you have to apply that example into your real point that you want to make, that is called as Darshtanta. What you want to show is called as Darshtanta. The example is called as Drishtanta. Now, Darshtanta is given. Very beautiful. He says, Tadvadevahi, in the same way. Swatmani Adhyastam. In consciousness, which is Atma, in that whatever is superimposed. Swatmani Adhyastam. Swabhavikam. What is the meaning of the word Swabhavikam here? Swabhavikam means because it is born out of Anadi Avidya. Swabhavikam doesn't mean inherent over here. Swabhavikam means it is born out of Anadi Avidya. For so long it has been there. Beginningless time. What are the things which have been there? Adhyastam, which is superimposed. Kartrutva bhoktatvadi lakshanam. That whenever we do something, immediately this thought comes, I did it. That is the indication of kartrutva. That is the expression of kartrutva. And Bhagavan says this is exactly what we have to let go of. In our own eyes, not giving any importance to kartrutva. Why? He says that is not our essential nature. Essential nature is Ananda Swarupa Atma, which is Akarta Abhokta. So first thing is kartrutva. He says that is what I have to let go of. Second one is bhoktrutva. Bhoktrutva means whenever a good experience comes, whenever somebody praises, this feeling of joy which comes, that is bhoktrutva. We have to find our own ways to open up what is kartrutva and what is bhoktrutva, and it should connect with our experience. Otherwise, we negate some other kartrutva, some other bhoktrutva. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi would say the thief is very safely seated inside. These are the two expressions of ahankara. Either it will be karta or it will be bhokta. And it is running this whole show with these two hats. But according to Bhagavan Shakaracharya ji, that is the Daurgandhyam, which we have to pervade now. Pervade with what? Our own essential nature as Ananda Swarupa Atma. Then he says, what are the other things included in Jagat? Included in this Adhyasta, what is superimposed? He says, Jagat Dvaita Rupam. This entire Jagat which is there in the form of Dvaita. See, in Jagat, what is Dvaita? See, Jagat also, the way we look at it is, I am there and world is there. That itself is one Dvaita. Real Dvaita is, there is consciousness and there is everything other than consciousness. If I give reality to that second thing, then it is called as Dvaita. But even within Jagat, the way we look at it is, I am there and world is there. That Dvaita Rupa also, we have to let go of. Do you remember the different Bhedas we had seen in Kenopanishad? Jiva Jiva Bheda, Jiva Jagat Bheda, Jagat Ishvara Bheda. This is all that Bheda, all that Dvaita, we have to let go of. Jagatyam Pruthivyam means in this Jagat, whatever things are being seen. Pruthivyam means on this earth. Bhagavan says somebody might think, oh, on this earth, everything I should pervade with consciousness, or everything here is mithya. Maybe if I go to some other world, 14 worlds are there, right? If I go to some other world, that will be satyam. He says, no. Jagatyam iti upalakshanartatvat. Jagatyam word has come as an upalakshana. Upalakshana means everything else which is relevant, you have to include. So here, Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat is said. It is not only Prithvi Jagat. All 14 worlds are pervaded by that same Isha. It will open up more if we say, all 14 worlds are pervaded by me. That is the main teaching, that is the main essence. Upalakshanarthatvat, sarvam eva, all of this. Now, if you have to say what all things are included in all, we will start probably counting, right? This chair, this room, mountains, rivers. Bhagavan Shakaracharya includes everything only in 2 words. He says Nama Rupa. You go to any 14 worlds, what you will find there is only Nama Rupa. Name and form, which is an appearance. The substratum of that name and form is Isha. That alone is real. Do you see another word there? Nama Rupa Karmakhyam. Why did that word karma come? Bhagavan says, you want to guess? We had covered it in yesterday's class. Why did the word karma come over here? Nama Rupa Karmakhyam. Yesterday, Ramayana class, we had covered it. Okay, he says, all Nama Rupa is brought about by karma only. Srishti Palanam Samhara happens of this entire creation. What Srishti should happen, what name and form an object should get, is decided by karma. How long it should stay is decided by karma. When it should perish is decided by karma. This Nama Rupa Karmakhyam. That is this Jagat. Which Bhagavan feels karma should be given special importance. That was the factor which brought about all Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa Karmakhyam Vikara Jatam, which is born out of modification. Of this Jagat, which is of this nature, Paramartha Satyatma Bhavanaya. With the understanding that all of this is Paramartha Vastu, that consciousness alone, Tyaktam Syat. Tyaktam Syat here means Baditam Syat. All Nama Rupa Jagat is negated. Just like mirage water is negated in desert sand, illusory snake is negated in the rope, Nama Rupa Jagat is negated in Chaitanya. That is the main message over here. Just with that one example, Chandana example, he is giving so many pointers. What are the 3 main pointers? One is, I should start inquiring. And inquire right there where this superimposition has happened. Means if there is foul smell coming from one sandalwood, I should not start rubbing something else. That same sandalwood I have to work upon. Like that, if ahankara is here, I should not start inquiring somewhere else. In this ahankara only, inquiring into where it has come from, what is its swarupa, what is its essential nature. That is the first one. And second is, whatever is not swarupa, whatever is conditioning, that I have to let go of. How should I let go of? Through vichara, through thinking. There is no doing involved, there is no action involved. And with this, what happens? The third thing is Swarupa Avasthanam. Abiding in our own nature as Chaitanya, enveloping all Nama Rupa, starting from this Ahankara to this Brahmanda, to all those Brahmandas by this Chaitanya. 3 things he says. One is do inquiry, Swarupa Anusandhanam. Second one is Upadi Tiraskaram, let go of conditionings. And third one is Swarupa Avasthanam. Swarupa Avasthanam means abidance in one's own self. Now this example, There is another reason why Bhagavan is giving this example. What is the example? That you just rub this sandalwood, the smell will go away and its own fragrance will pervade that smell. He says this example is given to negate Baudhha Darshana. They say only when there is fragrance which is inherent nature, then only can it come and pervade the superimposed which is there, which is aupadika smell, that Swarupa only came and pervaded. So in the case of Atma, if you say Atma is Asat Rupa, Atma is Shunyam, then how will it come and pervade? Ishavasyam, you are saying, if you want to pervade this Nama Rupatmaka Jagat by Chaitanya, that Chaitanya has to be Satrupa. That is one understanding. And second is Yogachara Darshana, Kshanika Vijnana. They said Atma is of the nature of Karta Bhokta, or Atma is Karta Rupa. Means inherent nature of Atma is Ahankara. Kartrutva is inherent nature of Atma. There it is said, if it was inherent nature, it will never go away. If Kartrutva was inherent nature, there will never be a time when Akarta Atma will come and pervade this Karta Rupa Atma. It is just like if you are churning water, hoping that fragrance will come. He said that thing will never happen. Essential nature of Atma is Akarta. With that, if we can let go of Upadhi through Vichara, that Akarta Adhisthana will come and pervade Adhyasta. The substratum will come and pervade the superimposed. That is one more layer of this meaning. Now, if somebody has understood this, Ishavasya Midagam Sarvam, Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat, that this is what I have to do now. Purpose of life is to know myself as Isha and then look upon this whole creation as an expression of that consciousness. If this is the understanding, how should his lifestyle be? That is said in the second line. Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha. Now that part is elaborated. Evam Ishvara Bhavana, Ishvaratma Bhavanaya. From there we will read. Evam Ishvaratma Bhavanaya Yuktasya Putradi Eshanatraya Sannyasa Putradi Eshanatraya Sannyase Eva Adhikaraha Na Karmasu Tena Tyaktena Tyagena Ityarthaha Nahi Tyaktaha Mrutaha Putro Va Bhrutya Va Bhrutyo Va Atma Sambanditaya Abhavat Atmanam Palayati Ataha Tyagena Iti Ayam Eva Vedarthaha Bhunjithaha Palayethaha. Bhagavan says here, the one who is desirous of Swarupa Avasthanam, one who wants to abide in his own self, one who wants to do Siddhi of the first line of Ishavasya mantra. Ishavasya Midagam Sarvam, Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat, he wants to abide in this. Then what is his lifestyle? He says that person is Adhikari for Sannyasa. Evam Ishvara Atma Bhavanaya Yuktasya. The one who is having this desire in his heart that I want to abide in that Isha. Putradi Eshana Traya Sannyasa Eva Adhikara. His Adhikara is in Eshana Traya Sannyasa. The Sannyasa also, Sannyasa means to let go. Okay. Whenever you say, I let go, you say, let go of what? So here he says, let go of desires. That person is Adhikari for, or he should be putting forth effort to let go of all these three desires. What are the three desires over here? Putra Eshana, Vitta Eshana, and Loka Eshana. Putra Eshana means desire for progeny. Vitta Eshana means wealth or any kind of resource. Bhagavan is telling here, don't do dhana agama chinta. Ma kuru dhana gama, ma kuru dhana. No, not ma kuru dhana. What is that verse? No. Third verse. Second verse. Bhajagovindam. Mooda jahihi dhanagama trishna. Dhana agama trishna one should not have. That is the second Eshana Tyaga he does. And third one is Loka Eshana. Loka Eshana means seeking popularity. Simple meaning of that is seeking popularity. He says, if you are interested in abiding in self, all these three things will not be helpful. Putreshana, Vitteshana, and Lokeshana. But we had seen another meaning of sannyasa in Kevat Prasanga. What was the meaning of that? Nyasi means one who is caretaker, one who is taking care, one who can take care very well. So that is sannyasi. One who can take care with this bhavana that everything belongs to the Lord, nothing is mine. With that bhavana, this person can live. The sannyasa word, whenever we hear, if you appreciate it in the right context, then everything is good. I'd heard from Puja Guruji once. He went to one program as a chief guest. Only one session was there. I think it was Vanaprastha group. Guruji said in his introductory speech, all of them said, Guruji, please tell us something that we can hold on to, and keep going in our sadhana. Guruji said, one thing we should remember is, some or the other day we have to take sannyasa. Everybody was taken aback. They said, Guruji, we asked you for a simple message. What is it that you told us? He said, this is a message of Shastra. If not external, internal sannyasa. This mindset that nothing I'm going to go after at some point. This is that bhavana we should hold on to. That is why 4 ashramas were also created. Right? Simple way of looking at sannyasa is non-dependence on the world for happiness. That is sannyasa. In spite of those things being there, non-dependence on them is sannyasa. Once there was a king who saw all other sadhu mahatmas living in his kingdom. He felt, what is it that they are doing? What is special about these sannyasis? They also eat, they also talk, they also go around doing things like I'm doing. So he went to one Sadhu Baba outside. He said, Maharaj, please come to my kingdom and live in the palace. Because for a long time you have been living here and you go to Kshetra for Bhiksha. Why do you have to do it? Come and live in the palace. Now this Sadhu Mahatma also was very explorative. Generally they will not come. This person was very open-minded. He also came with the king. Now he stayed along with the king because he asked him. The king asked this Sadhu Baba, where do you want to stay? He said, wherever you keep, I will stay. Then the king said, stay right here next to my room which is there, so I can see you most of the times, and all luxury will be provided. And he ordered all his people, whatever you give me, same thing you have to give him. If you give me some kind of food, Mishtana Bhojanam, same thing you give. Now like this he lived for 3 months. Then the king started feeling, see, I told you, there is nothing different about this sannyasi. Whatever I am doing, he is also doing. What is different? Now this news reached the sannyasi. I said, oh, this is what the king is thinking. He said, oh king, can we go for a walk? We started walking. Slowly they reached half of this kingdom. Slowly they reached the outskirts of this kingdom. Satsang was going on. Some question he was asking, something this king was replying. Now this king started saying, Chale, shall we go back? He said, why? Let's go a little more further. He went ahead. And slowly he said, today I am feeling like going to Kailas mountain, parikrama. 1 year, I feel like going. Let us go. He said, no, I have to go back. He said, this is the difference. Sannyasi can have everything, but still not be bound by it. And whenever he wants to go in solitude, he has the freedom to do that. Okay. But simpler way of understanding it is, whatever desires are there, kamya and nishiddha karma, that tyaga one has to do. Okay. Sannyasa eva adhikara na karmasu. Not in karma. Means give yourself time to really think about this knowledge. To really reflect upon this knowledge and absorb it. Tena tyaktena. By this tyaga, by this sannyasena, by this tyaga, tyagena ityartha. So tena tyaktena comes in Upanishad mantra, second line. So I hope all of you are marking those words. Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha. Nahi tyaktah mrutah putrah va atma sambanditayaha abhavat atmanam palayati atah tyagena iti ayameva vedartha. Means the word tena tyaktena, tena referred to Jagat. Right? Whatever nama rupa is there, that tyaga one has to do. So there might be a question, how do I protect myself by this tyaga? Next word is tena tyaktena bhunjitaha. So bhunjitaha, Bhagavan translates this as palayetaha. Meaning one has to protect this knowledge and one has to abide in one's own self. How can letting go of something give us this abidance? So he says, as an example, if there is a soldier working for a king, and for some reason that soldier is transferred somewhere or goes somewhere else. He said that soldier who has gone away, he cannot protect that king anymore. Means whatever has been given up, that giving up should be so strong that we don't seek that thing for protection. Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha. By doing this tyaga of this Jagat, Jagat should lose its power to do any kind of protection. Our protection should come from Brahmajnanam through self-knowledge alone. Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha. Now, this was the injunction for sannyasa. The third quarter, which is there, Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitaha, is the injunction for sannyasa. In spite of somebody being spiritual and walking on the spiritual path, committing to this knowledge, it is still possible that past vasanas can come. If they come, the injunction is the last quarter, Ma Grudaha. Don't entertain these desires. Be very careful there. Ma Grudaha Kasya Siddhanam. Means that thing which is mithya, you have understood to be mithya, don't go after that thing anymore. Ma Grudaha Kasya Siddhanam. What is being said here is there are three things. Third one is desire actually. Before desire, the previous step is Shobhana Buddhi. Shobhana Buddhi means I have given importance to something and I have superimposed joy on that thing. And before that is Satta Adhyasa. That thing which was not there, I gave reality to it. Satta Adhyasa came first. Then happened Shobhana Buddhi, Shobhana Adhyasa. Superimposed joy on it. And third one is I started running after it. So before desire, there is Shobhana Adhyasa and there is Satta Adhyasa. So in the next portion of Bhashya, Bhagavan is going to say, Ma Grudaha means don't have Shobhana Buddhi in Jagat. Now remember, who is this sadhaka? Who wants to abide in Isha. He has heard Vedanta, is doing that Mananam part. Chandanam he is rubbing. And he is willing to withdraw also. Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitaha, Sannyasa Vidya also he appreciates. That sadhaka Bhagavan says, in spite of doing all this, there can be vasanas, there can be ragadvesha, and different things of the past which will come and interfere. Even kusanga. Kusanga means erroneous company. Whatever you have gained, that you have to protect. Don't again go after any of those things. This is what is elaborated in Srimad Bhagavatam through the story of Ajamil. Ajamil story, it is said, he was Shrotriya Brahmana, one who had heard Vedanta, done everything. Then one day goes to forest for tapasya. While coming back, he sees few people who are doing some mischief, having some fun. He could have just walked away, but he stays there. And that Purva Samskara becomes Jagrat. Previous impressions get kindled again. Then he comes back the next day, and then slowly from Shrotriya Ajamil goes all the way to totally off track. But that whole story concludes in a good way, that he takes Bhagavan's name, again becomes Shrotriya Brahmana, going to Kashi. But the injunction of Ma Grudaha is for this, that previous vasanas, ragadvesha, if you have adopted a new lifestyle, don't fall back on the previous one. If our taste has changed, hold on to that new taste, don't go back to the previous one. That's a firm injunction of Upanishad mantra. Ma Grudaha. Kasya Siddhanam. Kasya Siddhanam is nature of viragya. Something which is mithya should not be sought after. If I say that mirage water is mithya and keep running after that mirage water also, that is not what we want. Kasya Siddhanam. Once you know something is mithya, put forth effort not to make it as goal of life. Mahatmas, they have their own way of simplifying things. I said, what is Kamana? Kamana is that thing which binds a person to Vishaya. If desire is not there, that Vishaya can be right next to us. It will not bind, nor will we feel like going after it. But if Kamana is there, desire might be 100 miles away, or object might be 100 miles away. That desire will take this person and connect him to that Vishaya. कर्ता को विषय से जोड़ने वाली चीज कामना है. The one that binds karta, the doer, to the vishaya is kamana. And the one that disconnects karta from vishaya, that is vairagya. That thing can be there right next to this person. Object can be there very close. If vairagya is there is no pravritti towards that object. Pravritti means going after it. One meaning of vairagya is dosha drushti. That is the initial part. Dosha drushti in a way that this object doesn't, or we start seeing the other side of things. That is why wherever in Bhaja Govindam things are criticized, it is from this standpoint, dosha drushti. But the final culmination of vairagya is in the understanding that this thing is mithya. Vedanta doesn't want us to stay only at gruna level. Gruna level means some kind of disgust towards that thing. That is how sadhaka starts. But here it is said, think about this fact also, something which is not there. Why are we going after that thing? The same thing Kabir Das Ji, he says it in one bhajan. Duniya Jagat Darshana ka mela. He says this whole world is like a mela. Kankana chuna chuna mahala banaya. Loga kahe ghara mera. He chose the exquisite stones, Italian marble, everything, and made a beautiful mahal. And he said, this is my house. Na ghara mera, na ghara tera. Chidiya rehna basera. He said this whole world is like a sparrow's nest where we come and we stay. Knowing the nature of Isha, we should make our life blessed. Okay, that is the next part of this bhashya. We will just read it in the next class, not right now. It will take some time to read. But whatever is included, whatever is covered in the bhashya, we explained in this summary. Now we can just look at it. And again, the same ideas will get rehashed. But I hope by now you are comfortable with this style, right? You read the mantra, reflect upon it. Then again you see the mantra, look at bhashya. Each word will be explained. Find where those words are in the bhashya. And before we enter bhashya, we will summarize whatever is the main topic in that. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. If there are any questions from this or previous mantra, you can type it here.